What's up, guys? You are now vaping with Teschner. I wanted to bring a discussion to my channel today. Oh, quick update. I am going to do discussions on my channel now instead of just juice reviews because I buy the same juice a lot, so it's hard for me to review when I don't have any new juices. But, quick update. Not update. That was a quick update for you. Fuck, what am I saying? Shout out to my boy Bryson Longview. From Longview, Washington. He's a custom juice maker. Vaping on some of his Fruit Loops out of the TFE4 with my fucking 2-puff strip tip with the TFE4 stacked on top. Running it through like so. I like running it like this. Or make it look like one of those new Lotus tanks. So, it's come to my attention that I live in Oregon. I've said that before. I live right next to Washington. Like, the bridge that connects Oregon and Washington across the Columbia River connects Longview, Washington to Rainier, Oregon, and it's like 5 miles from me. So I live really close to Washington, and I buy all my juices from Washington because of some things that have been happening. And one thing I really need to push is if you see a petition on your page, Facebook, you'll see it in forums, you'll see it anywhere on the internet, petitions to sign, to help stop regulations, and not only petitions, but just in general, boycotts, whatever it is your group of people do, participate, because it is very important that we try to keep vaping the way it is. In Oregon, we just got hit with the Clean Air Act, so anywhere you can't smoke a cigarette, you're no longer allowed to vape. That goes for inside buildings, so we can't test juices in shops anymore. That hasn't been hit in Washington, so I've always shopped in Washington for my juices, and I'll continue to, I guess. I have to. Washington just got hit with a law or regulation where only 3 people, they have to do 0 nic only for their testing juices, and only 3 people are allowed to test juices at a time, and you're not allowed to sit when doing so. So for like your daily in and out customer, that's going to suck if 3 people are testing juices if you're just a customer that goes in, gets what he needs, and leaves instead of chilling and doing whatever. That's terrible. We cannot be having laws where that's going to cost people jobs. Shops are eventually going to close down because of revenue. It's going to make it uncomfortable for people. And the one thing I've noticed is vape shops are supposed to feel like a home. You're supposed to feel like you could sit down and relax and make friends and enjoy yourself. But it's very important because there are some vapors out there. Well, it's not my state, so it doesn't affect me. That doesn't affect you, but and this is a true fact. The laws that happen here in the West will be looked at by the East. People on the eastern side, they're gonna get hit with the same laws. And anybody who doubts me can go ahead and doubt away. But I know for a fact that I've lived in the East for a lot of my life, and I've lived in the West for a lot of my life, and regulations that I've seen in the West were dropped in the East because of how successful they were against the vaping market. For those of you who don't know why this is happening, but the big tobacco industry lost a lot of profit this last couple years, slowly increasingly more each year after 2014. I need to cite my sources, which I probably will eventually, but I'm too lazy to do that in this video. But just take my word for this. Even if it doesn't affect you, put that name on a petition. Go to your local shop and protest or whatever. Whatever is done for vaping needs to be done because it's going to impact other people. That we get to be one signature away from getting what we need on something, and because there was one less person in the world that decided not to sign it, even if they vape, that affects us harsh. And I feel like vaping is a community. We need to come together as a community, not just city or like states. Oh yeah, we live in Oregon, so we only support Oregon rules. And no, forget about the other states. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but there are tons of people out there like that. I was like that at one point, and then I started, getting passionate about this, and it means something to everybody when you sign or stop regulations. In Washington, they tried to hit with the Clean Air Act about vaping, and because people stood up for what they did, unlike the people here in Oregon, because more people, a good amount of people stood up for what they believed in, and we could still vape in shops in Washington. And that is what we need. That we need to keep vaping an open market. We need to keep vaping something for hobbyists. We need, because once they start regulating stuff, there won't be something for everybody at that point. I mean, shit. The UK is dropping down to 3 mil tanks. I hate small tanks. I mean, I should have got the TFV4 Mini for my IPV, but I didn't because the TFV4 Mini was smaller. I should have gotten it because there's no overhang, but I don't care. I like this tank. And if I were limited to a 3 mil tank, I wouldn't like that. I didn't like the Goblin Mini like a lot of people did. I don't know. There's just something about small tanks that I don't like. But that's where I'm going to when I say that there is something out there for everybody. But if we get regulated, then everybody's eventually going to be on these dinky little pieces of shit again. And take this to a cloud comp and tell me how awesome that is. We can't even do cloud competitions in Oregon anymore because you cannot vape indoors. There are some places that are finding loopholes and getting around that, but that's going to be stopped eventually as well. And all that's going to do is bring out more regulations. So my message to you guys today was the moral of the story. Help anywhere when it comes to regulations. We have the ban hammer being dropped on all these different rules for vaping, and it's eventually going to run the market dry. And I don't want to go back to cigarettes. I don't think you as a vapor wants to go back to cigarettes if you don't smoke cigarettes. It's not something we need, and this is a big thing right now. And some people might not see it big, but give it 2-3 years time after all these regulations are going to be set, and vaping is going to be nothing anymore. Apologize for my little spiel today, but it's a message I really wanted to get out to you guys. Anyway, so 18 plus channel, Vaping with Teschner, keep it groovy.